Yeah, hello. Welcome back to the grind. And this week on the BMW 2002 in 1976, looking like a bit of a car now, isn't it? It's got a hood on it. Need to put bumpers on it. One of these days that'll happen. Not soon. Well, you never know. And then the back lid's on. Everything's like it's looking pretty good. This gap here, a little bit wider than the other side, but just to make it so it fits on there, and the door's all open. This stuff here is all on and up. Did a bunch of work on the Weber carburetor, and I did a bunch of work on the spark plug stuff. You'll see about that. Then I put in I don't know, you can see it down there, right about there. Where is it? Yeah, right there. There's a push button starter, which seems to work all right, and I've got that sorted out. Took a bit of time to sort it out, but got it sorted out and got all the wiring done, and it's ready to go, and it works. So anyhow, stick around and see everything I did. It's this was just a last minute thing because Gus was here, and we decided that Gus helped me put it on. Okay, see you later. Enjoy it all. Oh yeah, just before I let you watch the rest of the video here, if you're watching on a mobile device, please find and hit on the hype button, which helps out the channel a little bit. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Enjoy it all. Yeah, so where am I? I had a pretty good spot on here. The lights are all working, the gears are all working, it drives, it runs. So I'm going to take it out of here for a bit, and I'm waiting for a few parts to come, and then I'll start working on the interior. But while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to take it out, and I'll, what am I going to do? I'm going to bring in that Dodge truck. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, right over there. See if I can light that up, clean it up a bit, and then bring it in, and I'll see what's cooking with that. Yeah, no wonder it's not running exactly right. Watch. No difference. So I got to take that spark plug out. I don't think it's pitching right. Yeah, so I cleaned off that plug, and then I swapped 1 and 2 plugs. I'll see if any cylinders are dead now. See what happens. That's nice and smooth running now. So if I pull number 1 plug, yeah, it's definitely firing. Pull number 2, definitely firing. So it was just fouled or something in there. Wow, I wonder if that was part of the problem all along. And now it's kind of rough again, right? I wonder if that number 2 plug is... Yeah, that plug is no good. Okay, need another plug. Yeah, so I put in a, what do you call that? I put in one of the old plugs that came out of it originally, which were not in bad shape anyhow. So now I'll get it all set up here and see if I can set the idle again. And then I might be able to get something happening with that machine at the back for it to have the proper carbon dioxide. Yeah, that's smooth now. setting the idle by ear here with a mixture. Pretty close. Now I need a nice long screwdriver to idle it down a bit because it's a pretty high idle now. With all 4 cylinders running, it gets pretty high idle. $970. I think I wanted a bit higher than that, eh? I think that low like that, it doesn't have enough oil pressure. So that's 1,000, around 1,000 there, which I think is a happy number. Yeah, so everything's okay there. Now that's an awful lot smoother and quieter than it was before. Oh dear me. No wonder nothing would work. There's no fire at that cylinder. So I think that's about 1,000. I'm not sure with this thing. I'll see if I can. Hang on. Yeah, that runs an awful lot smoother when you have 4 cylinders running. Amazing. Don't know what caused that, but I guess bad spark plug. I'll put the thing on the back and see what it's got for carbon dioxide. Well, there now I unhooked the hose, the vacuum hose that goes down to the air pump thing, put a block in it, and I unhooked the hose that goes to this little thing here, put a block in it, just in case there's a leak on there. And this hose goes directly to the distributor, so I'll make a nicer hose for that. And it's running pretty smooth. It's like 8,500 RPM or 9,000 RPM. I might just turn it up just a tiny bit more. If I can find the it kind of likes it right about there, eh? Smooth idle. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'll leave it there. See if I blew this thing out of the hose here. No. 3.4 it says there, 3.2. I'll leave it out for a while now and just see what it comes out to when it settles down. Nothing there doesn't seem to do much for me. Don't know what it's supposed to do, but it's not doing it for me. Oops, excuse me for a minute. There we are, back on it. The BMW 2002, and I picked up one of these things. Push button system thing. Figure out which one I have here. Maybe this one here, yeah. So there's the diagram. This is all you get, is the diagram and these picture things. And there's the thing. That's the RFIDs there. This is the little ring that activates from the RFID. And there's the wiring harness. So let's see if I can figure it out. I'm going to take the cover off it here because there's a switch in here that I really can't see. I'll take the cover off and see what's underneath here. That's the first thing I'll do. Okay, hang on. Yeah, there's the little circuit board there, and just glued together. Hot glue, hot glue, yeah. Well, no, it's soft still. But here's the little switch. This switch here is just a push button thing Don't know what it does for sure, but it's for programming stuff. And I don't, like I didn't, it was supposed to be over here because that's where that hole is. That's where the diagram shows it, but it's actually right there. And you can access it through that side there. Hang on, I'll put it back together here and then we'll figure out what goes where. Here it is. Now, first thing I had to do was make that hole bigger, so this would go on there. Then this plugs in here, that plugs in. There's only one way for them plug, and then in there is a little switch thing for programming it. I think that's for making it so it'll make windows go up and down or something, or whatever it's supposed to do. Anyway, so that's pretty obvious. Start, swap, switch. This one here, the red is power, 12 volts. I think constant power, yeah. Black is ground. Brown, connecting power to on second wire. So that's the on switch, like, you know, ignition on. Blue is the ACC, which is, you know, well, ACC will ignition on also. Yellow is the start button. Yellow is the start, and white is power on. So there's three of them are power on. Oh yeah, the ACC is blue, so that goes down to this one here. So I'll see if I can figure them out. And then this green wire goes to the brake thing. Oh, hang on. Excuse me. Like it goes the brake switch. So it should be a ground when you press the brake switch. So you just hook that into the wire on the light side. That's that wire. This brown wire out of here, it says no use. Well, I'll believe that. There's no use for that brown wire. And then this loop antenna, which, like, this is the way the diagram says the loop antenna should be here and this should be there, but it's obviously the other way around. So the loop antenna is for these little guys here. There's your loop antenna. These little guys here talk to the loop antenna and says that you're here. Anyway, I'll see if I can get it sorted out in the car and know what wires go where. Yeah, so I'll make a wire thing, a connector to go in there, and all these wires go in so, like so, and then this one here, this is your eye crimp machine, right? You just get that in there. Put the wire. Can you see any of this? I don't know. Oh, twist the wire a bit so it goes in nice. But these are thick wires, so I don't get any of the plastic in there in these ones because they're just heavy wires. That, then check and make sure they don't pull off, right? Where is it? Then this part here goes like that. And it's got a little clippy thing that holds it from coming back out, as long as I got it right side up. I have it right side up. Had it upside down. Smart. Clippy thing goes on the uppy side, or that side. There, it's clipped in now. So now those are all ready to go. Now I'll have to just go figure out the wiring for the other side and put this part on there. Yeah, okay, here's this magic box, right? That goes and hooks into the brake circuit. That is just hangs around somewhere. This part here, this part here. Oh, start button hangs around somewhere. Then I made like a wiring harness here. So out of this one here, it goes to the ACC circuit. These two here, the two ones with the green on them, go to when the key is on, power to them. These ones here, this is power in and constant power. This is ground for the box. This one here, white and black, that's the starter switch, so that goes to the starter motor. So white and black goes to starter motor, greens go to on with key on, blue and red, which is purple, hey, goes to the ACC circuit, which is radio and stuff like that. And then these ones here go to power. There's two red wires coming in for power. So, and they both are hot. So now I'll just go and hook this up and see if I can get a ground somewhere, wherever. This one, go to a ground on the body of the car and see how that works out. See what happens. Well, there, I got most of these things all hooked up. These aren't great connections, but I'll fix them up later if I figure out that this works. I'll just take them apart and put them a direct connection to here somehow. Anyway, but that's on with the ignition on is on, ignition on is on. That's a starter thing there. This one's power, and that one there is ACC. Then it's got this little tiny green wire that goes over into the brake wire, which I got into right here and just spliced it in. And that machine there is there. I'll hook up the battery and see what happens. Well, it took me a while to figure out how to do it, but you have to put your foot on the brake, right? Then you press this button here and it'll maybe light up the stuff on the dash. And it tries to start the car, but it only turns it over a couple of times, so I got to figure out how to hold it, make it happen more. But it will, the car will start. Maybe I need to get my foot over here on the gas pedal and foot on the brake. Yeah, there's got to be a way to get it to hold the starter on. Nothing happens unless you have your foot in the brake. So I'll figure that out. I'll trying to translate these things. Difficult. Oh, hang on a minute. It's running now. For no reason in particular, but it is running. And I can turn it off by just, you press the button to shut it off. Well, wait and see what happens here. See, nothing happens. Maybe you're going to press the brake on. So maybe that transponder's got to be right next to it all the time. Hang on. I don't know. You can't, now it won't shut off. Oh, come on. Oh, well, I'll keep on working on it. Well, I think I have it wired pretty close to right, but I have to make these connections better. They're just too loose. Everything's too loose. Let's just see what I can come up with here. Give me a little bit. Yeah, so I fought with that thing all day yesterday, and there's the problem. There's your problem, mister. Right there. That wire isn't where it's supposed to be. No wonder it won't work. That light never came on. Okay, maybe I can get that fixed here. Yeah, there now. I took the little connectors out of there. Too small to see, anyhow. And then I soldered with my trusty soldering gun. Soldered them on there, and I had this thing to look through so you can see a little bit better. I don't know if that That make any difference? I don't know. Anyway, there. This doesn't help a great deal, but it gives you a bit of a chance. So they're all on there now, and hopefully that thing will start working properly. Yeah, so I sort of got the starter button sorted out a little bit. Not perfect yet, but I'll get it figured out eventually. I'll show you how it works in a minute. But since then, I've been chasing down a no spark issue here, and one of them was this one here. Look at this. I put a new spark plug in, but it must have just, look at that. Too long, hey? That's amazing that that happened there. And it's the right, it's the right one. The same, well, it's the same as what was in it before. But, I think I better order the correct spark plugs from it, as it says in the books. So I put in one of these ones that I've had in there, like this. And this is a new spark plug that I ordered at the NKG. It's got the little pointy thing there, but then it fired for a while, but then it quit. So I pulled it out to see it was bent again. Not bent, but it's not firing. So I put in a different one. And I think these spark plugs they're brand new, but I think they're no good. Not being good. Anyway, so I'll give it another go here. Yeah. So I'll show you how this starter button works. So this thing here is the get it close to that RFID here, that beep beep, and that means that it's when it goes beep beep, it's armed. Then you can put your foot on the brake, wait for this button to come alive. That wasn't what it's supposed to do. Try it again. It's a fussy little thing. So it should come there. And it just hits it and goes, right? That started right up that time. And there, it's running nice and smooth now. That's exactly how it's supposed to run. I was wondering what the ticking sound was up above here, and it was the spark plugs hitting this piston. Oh dear. What are these ticking? Anyway. It seems to be fine now. But I'll order up new spark plugs for it that are the same as what it says in the book. And then I've been adjusting on this thing here. So this part here, to turn that, and it makes the spoke act right. But I took that off and it wasn't even hooked into the right spot. It was not, there's a little pin that hooks into a hoopy thing, and it wasn't in there, so of course it wasn't working right. Then I adjusted the right down in there. Down in there. Right here. There's an adjustment for the high idle speed, which I think I have sort of right now. And the adjustment for the idle speed down there, because it might be drop a little bit if the thing is stay running nice. I never got to get a screwdriver index in here. Maybe because I'm half blind. Yeah. Drop in around 1,000 RPM. Somewhere around there is like the right speed. Then this down here is the idle mixture speed. Now that speeds it up again because I adjust that to the right size. Right around there, I think it sounds pretty good. So I'll let it run there for a while. I'm going to let it run for a while, see if it drops off another piston here, or it drops off that cylinder. Weird stuff. Yeah, so I don't know why they are touching the piston. That shouldn't be. but maybe I have to put a extra washer or something on them. Like maybe they need a little bit more space up here. I'll think about that. Anyway, I ordered some new ones. They're no-name ones, but they say they are compatible with the Bosch ones. So I'll see what they come like, because you can't get those Bosch ones anymore, or they're not, don't seem to be available. Anyway, now I'll put together that carburetor stuff back together. I think it's all right now. I think I'm kind of happy with that, and it seems to be running not badly. But we'll just see. So now I've got to, and I'm kind of happy with the. What do you call that? The push to start button. Now the reason I wanted the push to start button is because the key thing, it doesn't make proper connections sometimes. Now let's just see. I got the push to start button going. Let's see if everything works on it like it's supposed to. Headlights, yeah. Yep. They work. Blinkers. That one's going, so I imagine the other one's going too. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, so that stuff seems to work. Haven't tried the heater yet, but we'll get to that one of these days. And the temperature's up to normal-ish, and the fuel's down to abnormal. I should get another bucket full of fuel and put it in it. I imagine I've used up lots of fuel. And then as long as it's running, that stays lit as long as it's running. And if you hit the button, nothing happens. But when you want to stop the car, you push the brake in, hit the button, and nothing happens. That's not good. That's not supposed to happen, hey? Oh, this thing is driving me nuts here. Okay, well, I'll just check into it. Yeah, so it's supposed to be getting power input from over there on the brake pedal thing. But I think I must have screwed something. I must have a bad connection there or something, or this wire, the green wire, is not getting proper connection. Maybe I'll check into that first. Oh, okay, running now, right? Smooth too. But it seems that the brake light is somewhat intermittent. So the brake light should be on now because I got the hot wire to them, right? Yeah, brake lights are on so that they're hot wired. Now I wonder why that switch would give up just when I'm in the middle of all this, right? So now I can shut it off. That's how it's supposed to be. And then it's off. Then you should be able to hit the button or something. I think that's ACC on there. Or oh, the thing is there. Double beep means armed. One beep means should come in a few seconds here. There it is. And it just starts right up. And then everything works, like blinker lights and all that kind of stuff. So I was chasing around after that silly thing for the brake light. Now how come the brake light switch decided not to work? I don't know. Okay, well, we'll just work on that now. Looks like it's a mechanical switch. Now see if I can get the camera in where I can see it. And it works intermittently. I want to see what way that moves. You guys watch it. Down, up, down, up. Yeah, here we are. So here's the switch here, and I just used some brake clean and some lubrication like WD-40, and I put a bit of this grease on it, and it runs nice and easy and smooth now. And see if it actually works. You should hear a beep if it works. Oh yeah, there. You hear the beep? Anyway, now see if I can hold that in there. Hold that in there. Beeping, non-beeping, beeping, open, beeping, open. Okay. So now, see if I can get the threads cleaned up so I can put it back together more easily. Okay, we're all back together and beeping again. Whoop. That doesn't want to do that, so this should come alive in a minute or a second, or there. Then those come to life. Press the brake and hit the button, and it starts. Then I can let the brake off and everything's normal, right? And then when you let the brake off and you hit this, it won't shut off. But if you hit the brake and hit this button, it shuts off the car. Isn't that quite handy? So that might be okay once I get used to it. I'll always keep my hot wires around, I think, though. Running again. And the motor sounds all right now, all 4 cylinders going. My, what a chase that is. Anyway, now I got to tidy up all that wiring and get it away somewhere. This, like the key here, I'm going to leave it in here, but the not going to have it doing the electricity stuff because it's like a bad connection at the back there, and you can get a new one, a new ignition switch for the back of it for $325 US, which I think is an awful lot more than like $14 for this or whatever it was. Not a very expensive thing. And if this thing doesn't work properly, I just bought it for an experiment to see if it would work, because it's very, very cheap, and you can tell because you gotta put it all back together again. But there are more sophisticated models on the market that you can get that maybe cost maybe $150 or something. But now that I have an idea how it works, it's fine. And if it works, that'll be good. And I'll make it so that I can always put the thing back on there. I think what I'll do, like, I'll have it so that these wires hook into another outfit like that right there. Then I'll put the ends of them onto the bottom of the ignition switch and make it so that like if that fails, I can just hook up the ignition switch and it should go. Anyway, that'd be the theory anyhow. Anyway, there we go. That's enough for today. I'll start cleaning things up tomorrow. Yeah, a bunch of parts showed up for that guy there, so maybe tomorrow I'll be back on that guy for a bit. We'll just see. Okay, so here's this one here. I've got that made so it's the same as that, right? So if this thing breaks down, then I can just take this, which will plug into the wiring harness with these lovely wires that I've made here, and that'll plug right into this, and I'll hook this to the back of the ignition where the key goes, and that might work. Well, you never know for sure. Anyhow, I sort of know where all these things go, and we'll get this hooked up, see if this thing here works again, and then we'll see about getting this just hanging on the back of the ignition. So if that ever breaks down, then I can just plug it into the ignition and go. There we go. That's all wired in, looking neater than it was. Hey, then this wire, get some light to shine here. Shine a light. There we are. Then this part here can clip right into that, and I'll put it on the, I don't know if you can see this, on the back of the ignition in case the electronic thing goes, you know, titters up sort of thing. Okay, now that's okay. Now I'll go and I'll get the thing and I'll hook it in here and just see if it actually works. So we have to clean up some more wiring over here for the what do you call this? This is where it hooks into the brake wire. So I'll just clean that up a bit. I had shrink wrap on it, but took it off because I thought it was wrong in there, but apparently it's not wrong. So I'll just fix that bit of wiring up there, and I will run this wire over so it gets into the machine. Okay, I'm on it. Yeah, there, that's all wired up, and I've got this hooked onto the back of the ignition in case I need to have it. I just unhook those wires over. Can't reach anywhere in here under these wires here. Unhook that, and that'll plug into the back of this ignition thing if I want to. Then this plugs into the box there. That green wire goes to the brake system, brake switch. This black wire here goes to the that little ring-a-ding-ding thing, and then this other wire right here goes to the button. So let's see what it does this time. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Hey, okay. Now, first thing I got to do is bring this RFID thing. That means it's armed, right? Then it should go here. It should have a light here in a second or two, or thinking it takes about a minute for it to decide to have a light. Well, that's button 1 means the blinkers will work, and then you put the brake on. But you see what happens there? It stops. It doesn't turn over very long, right? It only turns over long enough, like that'd be the same as a what do you call it? A car that has electronic ignition. Just sort of, they just start right up. But we'll give it another try. I'll put that on. So that's got ACC there. Now you're supposed to be able to hold this down and with the brake on, and it'll turn over until you let the button off. But it's not happening, right? Nothing. So, how can I solve that problem? I don't know. That's the instructions on it. Okay, I'll get it, see if I can get it to start. Wait a minute. Yeah, so this thing here, like now, if I hit the button now, nothing happens because I don't have my foot on the brake. Engine's running. So if I put my foot on the brake and then hit this button, it stops the engine. Button once. I'm back to that. But anyhow, the way it starts is you press the button once, and that should be ACC, so the blinkers will work, right? Then button again, and it turns it over enough for to like make an car that has electronic ignition run. This one here needs just a bit longer when it's cold, so I think I'll get a separate type start button for it, and then that'll solve that problem. It's pretty easy to, you know, just a hot wire start button. That'll only work when the key is on. How's that? Not a bad idea. Okay, that's all we get for today because I got to go to dinner. Might be fun. See you later. Okay, back at work on this little BMW. Now what I'll do today is finally get this water hose sorted out and right. I've got a new one here, and I've also got that little bypass hose right down there. I don't know if you can see it down there. Anyhow, so I'll make new ones of those, but that means I have to lift it up, get all the water out of it, and then, well, get a bunch of the water out of it, then put it back together. Now I wonder if I should put antifreeze in it. Think about that a bit. Anyway, and then I'll do some other, like, see this, I've got this hooked up for to go to the what do I got to do? And I've got it going to the starter switch, so I'm going to figure out a good solution for that starter switch business. Okay, ready to make a mess. That'll be that coming down. Now that'll let lots of water out very quickly. Oh well. See if I can get some of it in that bucket. Yeah, I got most of it in that bucket. How do you like that? Well, not all of it. Some of it's on the floor, but it's only water, so not a big amount. Not a big deal. Now, I've got the hose out, and it's over here. And then this part here, I've got a new hose for here, which for that one, I've got a new hose for there. You sort of have to put them on here and then send it up and see if we can get it all lined up there. Okay, this is the thermostat in here, or two, and that bottom hose goes to the bottom. This one here goes to the bypass, or to the water pump. That one there goes to the top of the motor. So let's see if I can get them back on. There we go. That's back on. That wasn't as difficult as I thought it might be, so that's great. Okay, now move this out of the way and let the car back down. Let's see if I can get the top done. Yeah, so I pulled this hose out of the way so I can get that one on. Tight fit in there with that thing. Anyhow, but now I think, yeah, it's all back together. Just tighten up that clamp and put water in it. Oh yeah, I have to tighten up this clamp here too. Oh, where did I leave it? Left it on the wrong side, didn't I? Maybe I'll move it around a bit, see if I can do. Okay, so I put about 5 liters. Yeah, 5 liters into it. And I'll wait and see. I gotta wait for the floor to dry out, see if it leaks anywhere, but hopefully it won't leak. Next is what? Next is I'm thinking about it. Okay. So next I'll do the spark plug knock, right? These spark plugs are just a tad too long, so I'm just gonna take them out and I'll put an extra washer on them, and that should bring them back up out of the way of the piston. There, so I just put 2 little copper washers on there, same size. But I just put a dab of anti-seize on this stuff here to hold them so they don't fall off when I put them in the where they have to go. Okay. Yeah, so I took apart the old Solex just to see what size jets are in there, and the jets were 125 and 120 main jets on the. So the main side was 125, the secondary was 120, and then these air jets were 150, 120, and 80. So, interesting. Smaller than anything that's called for on the Weber stuff. But I might order some Weber jets the way that the table here says. So I think that it runs a bit rich because of the jetting that's in it. Let's see if I can remember how to make it run. Now you put this, that arms the system. Then this should come alive here. And that makes that go, right? Whoops, I forgot to put the brake on. Brake on. Then that won't run it quite long enough to make it start, but That certainly does. Seems to be high idle, all right. And 2600 on the high idle. I might turn that down a bit. Think I can. Hang on a minute. It came out of high idle anyhow, so what? Oh well, that's alright. Just waiting to see if it'll. There's the tickety pack over here now. Yeah, it seems to be running pretty nice, eh? That one definitely is making it happen. That one definitely is making it happen. That one definitely is making it happen. And that one is making it happen. So all 4 cylinders are hitting. So that's good. Running smooth. I guess can't ask for any better than that for now. We'll see about when I'll get some more jets and we'll rejet this carburetor to what here's a table over here. I don't know if I've ever showed you this, but this is what the gurus on the internet say. So they say that it comes with a 140 on the main jet, 140 on the secondary jet, and this air correct is a 160 and a 170. And over here, this guy Brandon, who has done quite a bit of experimenting, he says to use a 135 on the main jet and a 175 on the air correct, and then a 130 and a 145 on the air correct. So, don't know. What the hell? Could try that. The other guys on the internet say to bring it right down to about a 125 on that main jet, but we'll get that and try it out and see what happens. It's all warmed up. It's running about maybe 1100, maybe 1000 RPM for it idle. Well, there, it quit. Wonder why. Oh well. Maybe it ran out of gas. Yeah, it did run out of gas. Guess I'll have to go get a jug of gas for it. No more gas coming up here, right? No, that's empty. Huh, isn't that something? Okay, well, get a jug of gas and get her to try it again. Yeah, so I've got the little start buttons. You hit that and it just connects the circuit there. And I'm going to put that in the circuit. This will run to a hot wire that's key on, and then the blue wire will run to the starter thing that just give it a bit of energy and it'll go. Okay? Yeah, blue wire goes to the starter solenoid. What? Oh dear me. Okay, so here I ran this blue wire from underneath the from the start button, goes to right here, and then it connects that wire. That wire goes right back to the solenoid, and it's up here and easy to attract to, and so I did it. This black wire here, which I had set up over on this side, shouldn't have been there, and then the green wire should go here, right, whenever I get some fuel in it. And this black wire leads to a wire underneath the dash, and I checked it out with the and it leads also to this black wire right here. So, and it is the tachometer. Well, it is now the tachometer. I think it always has been the tachometer, but I'll put my little tachometer inside the car here, and it goes to this wire right here. This wire comes from the coil to here, and then it goes back out. It's a double wire. It goes back out to the diagnostic thing there. So now I'll find some more key on, like this is key on power here. Wonder if I just put another plug on that and used it for my coil, or my, what do you call that thing? What is that thing called? Tachometer. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll just take that off out of there and I'll put another wire to it and then run that to the tach. Okay, that'll work. Okay, this one here goes to the starter switch. This one here goes to the little tachometer thing right there. It's not hooked into anything. Now I've got them both grounded up here, plus I grounded out this this relay for the safety switch on the neutral, which hopefully will start working sometime after a few heat cycles. We don't know what'll happen for sure, but if it does, that'd be good. Hang on, I'm gonna get in the car and just see if any of this stuff works. Yeah, though I've got 12.8 volts. Well, that means it's just reading volts on it right now until it starts running. And then now I'll see if that, like this thing here, when you press the brake and hit the button, turns it over. Now, it didn't, it didn't start the car, but I've got this little starter button here now, and I think this is just, you don't need the brake on even. Yeah, so that, whoops, that works fine. Okay, and that works fine. Then I hit the brake, and that turns off everything. Then one beep disables it. Okay, so that's all ignition systems all working now. The only thing, like now with the key off and everything, you get nothing out of this starter switch, so it only works when the key is on, which is this stuff here, what I just showed. Okay, so the only thing that's not it's like there's no safety on it though. When the key is on, this will work no matter what. Okay, that's all for today anyhow. Okay, so yeah, I went and got some gas, right? Let's see if I can get it into the tank without spilling too much of it. Making a mess in my usual manner. That's like watching paint dry, isn't it? Okay, I'll stop the camera. Hang on. I'll let you know when I have it all in there. Yeah, there's 20 liters, right? I don't know what it'll show up on the... Got to turn the gas cap so that it's got the BMW pointing up, right? Oh well. Anyhow, that's 20 liters. I put in high test or whatever you call that these days. 97 maybe, whatever it is. Okay. Okay, let's see if it'll start again now. Where's all my buttons and everything over here? That's got power, right? Then this should flash or something here in a second or two. There it is. And you hit the button again there, and it just turns a couple of times, right? See if we can get some gas up into it. Or have I burnt something? I don't know. Does it have not sparking? Let's check that. Let's check the fuel, see if it's getting any fuel up there. Imagine I can run this starter button out here where I can reach it from above. Hang on. Yeah, it looks like it hasn't sucked any fuel up there. Oh, there's starting to get fuel now. There it goes. Yeah, so it was out of gas. It was on high idle, but the socket gets unsoaked pretty quickly. Get it warmed up a bit and be alright. Well, it looks like it's full of fuel. I wonder if, oh, even those lights behind there work. Isn't that something? That's encouraging. Headlights work. I have to check the voltage coming through from the alternator at this speed. Okay, I'll do that. Hang on. Oh, that's upside down. Here. Can you see that? Maybe. 13.9, 13.85. So that's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. See what happens if I rev it up. Yeah, so the voltage regulator is working. That's what it's supposed to be, around 14 volts for charging. So that's good, I'm happy with that. There you go. I think I'm happy with the motor now. I'll just let it be. I will get some new jets for this carburetor and rejet it just for fun. That's down the road. And I've got it's back at the original spark plugs that came with the car now. They're all in there. Now, so this ballast resistor, I don't have that hooked up anymore because this this particular coil that I stole out of the Volkswagen van makes 4 or 5 ohms without a ballast resistor, 4 ohms without a ballast resistor, and all that electronic ignition in there calls for anything over 3 ohms. So that's good, so I can run straight 12 volts for that. Then I don't have to worry about that wire this is the wire that comes, so that goes to the, that wire goes to the revolution counter. And then this wire here runs back from the starter button on there to the solenoid. So that's, everything there is good. I'm happy with that. Okay, there we are. I don't know, maybe is that enough for a video? I'm going to start working on the interior, I think, next. It's time to start putting this stuff together and maybe get the engine bonnet on it and stuff like that. They got all the lights on it, and then the bumpers and the trim. And maybe a door handle. What the hell, eh? Okay, well, I think that's enough for this one, and I hope you've enjoyed it all. It's yeah, I'm happy with how that's running. What did I do? I got just a bunch of little things. I don't even remember. I'll put it in the description, everything that happened here, and then because it's been over about 3 weeks that I've been off and on between this and that out there. So I'll pop out a video on this one this week, and then next week you'll get some more Dodge. That's maybe. We'll see what happens. So I'll start working on the interior. I want to glue that foam up to the top here. This stuff here's got to get glued up. Then I'll, clean up the head, the ceiling. See if I can put that back in, fix it up a bit. Have to take the seats back out, work on the interior, get all that stuff figured out. But I think as far as engine running, wiring, and ignition system, I'm happy. Oh yeah, that's what I did. I spent quite a while playing around with that fancy existing system here. So that works pretty good. And then that says 11.8, 12,000. Who knows if that's right or wrong. Anyway, see you later. Well, yeah, Gus came over, so the hood's on the car. And that needs to be figured out and adjusted, but it's got a hood on it now. Looking more like a car. Thanks, Gus.
Great.
See you later.
Good job.
Yeah, so I spent, oh, where am I? Yep. I spent about half an hour looking around for this bolt, which sort of fits through there, right? And then also fits through there to make that work properly. So I have one, and I have to spend another half hour looking around to see if I can find another one. It's got the bolt, it's got 2 washers, one on each side of that, and then it goes through, and then there's a washer, lock washer type thing, and a nut. So I'll just put it about the middle of that run there and just see how that works out. Yeah, so you missed out on how this was. This thing here is a heavy duty spring in there, and I had it hooked on to, had a piece of a rod, 1/4 inch rod, which is that stuff there. Yeah, anyway, that stuff there, going right across from here to the same place on the other side, and just holding that up out of the way. And it was pretty heavily spring loaded, so I had it strapped. I had this bar, well, my stick there, plus I took a ratchet strap and put it from there to there just to hold it so I could, this would be solid when I was trying to work on it. So now that seems to work pretty good. Now I'll see what I can find for a bolt for the other side, and just something to kind of hold it there for a while. I'll look through all the, I'm surprised that I found that one. So maybe somewhere in all of this, there's another one. Somewhere down deep. Okay. Yeah, and there it is. That's amazing that those things exist. So this has got the original color paint on it from, well, last time it was painted. So I'll clean that all off, make it look like the other side, and then put it on here. See how that works out. Oh, good. Yeah, and incredibly, I found the mounting hardware for the roof here. Isn't that something? So I'll clean these up, then I'll need some washers on them, but I'll figure that out. Well, there, that's looking more like a BMW, right? Anyway, what am I going to say here? So this gap here comes pretty darn close to that, but it doesn't touch, so that's okay. I think that it'll be just right about there when I get the latch on it. And along the front, looks okay. About the same, a little bit wider here, but that's because that hand had to come back. This gap here, a little bit wider than the other side, but still like 1/8 of an inch wider here than it is on the other side. And and I tried making it come more this way, but then that gets to be up here not hanging over enough. So I'm going to be happy the way it is right there. That's not going to be perfect, but it's pretty darn good. Now this thing here, like, that was a bit bent, that whole thing, that I didn't notice before. Because it should just match that door, right? Or it's got to come this way a bit. That's pretty well kind of flush on there. And it could go that way a little bit if I could make it. I don't know if I can make it do that. Just have to move this that way, and that'll make that go that way. I tried that before, but it made it worse. Try it again. Yeah, that helped it a bit. See, down here, this door, it's nice here, right there. No body work was ever done on it right there, so that's good. Here is a bit of body work done on it, so that's likely how it is. And that's a new fender, so don't know how close that is to real. Suppose I can make the fender come out a bit. I really tried to. It's not terrible bad. See how this is out here? So this thing here is a little bit whooped that way. And I just sort of straightened it out a little bit here. I think the whole thing has got a little bit of a crease that way. You can see there. Now I don't think I want to try and straighten that out any. I think I'm going to have to live with it how it is. And same old thing with the man on the horseback, right? This sits down. Luckily it just sits down in the middle there where it's supposed to. That was only good luck, not good management. And this part here, this door here opens fine without. Yeah, that other door over there gets like an 1/8 of an inch closer to opening on the opening part. I could likely drop it a little bit, and that might make it. That'll make it fit a little bit better there. Like if I just, but if I dropped it a bit, then this is going to be all out of whack here. So that's about where that has to be. And no body work was done on that. The body work was done up here. So that's where, can't do anything about it. It's all, that's welded solid. You can't. It was welded before I got to it, but I would have made it worse than what it is. So we'll just call it good enough alone. I do believe that in a previous life it might have got whacked here somewhere. I'll take a look. Well, here's the fender, right? Is there any evidence of wacko on that? But who knows? Maybe it's a new fender. Who knows? Anyhow, but I have to take out that thing right there. It goes right here. Then the holder goes on there. But that's, anyway, there again, I'll say that's enough for now. And maybe I'll call that enough for this week. Yeah, I'll call that enough for this week. It was getting the electronic, the push button starter thing going on it. And what else? Do a little bit of tuning on the carburetor. I think I think it did. And then what else? And then there was the spark plugs that were in too far into the motor and hitting on the pistons. That's interesting. So fix that with just a couple of washers on the spark plugs. Hopefully it's fixed. Otherwise, now let me just drop the trunk down. We'll have a good look at it from the back here and see how it looks. See if it looks like a car. How's that? Yeah, it looks like a whole car now. Okay, next week's interior. And our next time is the interior. I think next week is Dodge W100. Excuse me. Okay, so this is sort of the second outro that I've done. I'll do an intro and then see you next time. Bye now. Yep, 22nd maybe of September. Yeah, and there's ducks and a heron, right? Now yesterday I was watching this guy. He was been here. Well, I don't know where he went overnight, but might not have gone too far. He's hunting for something to eat. Maybe we'll catch him in the act here. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Wonder if he got anything. No. Empty. Oh yeah, he got something. He's swallowing it down. Swallowing it down. There you go. That's what herons do. Hey. Cool. Maybe he'll have another whack at it. And the beach is yeah, it's the second day of fall, whatever that is, 22nd, 23rd, I don't know. And a little breeze today. And of course, Buster's with me. See you later.